Okay, listen up, everyone. I have some really important advice. Never, ever trust an atom. Why, you might ask? Because they make up everything. Okay, I know that's cheesy, but it's true. Atoms are the building blocks of matter. But today, we're going to actually focus on what atoms are made out of. So we're going to talk about the structure of the atom. Now, just one little side note. The pictures that I have today in my video aren't 100% accurate when it comes to the structure of the atom. Atomic structure is really complicated, and we can't really depict a 3D object on a 2D surface. So it's a simplification, but it's going to help us get through the main important parts. So first of all, the center of the atom is known as the nucleus. So in my picture here, that is that white circle area with the dashed line around it. And the nucleus is very dense because it has all of the protons and neutrons packed into a really small area. And because of this, it has most of the mass of the atom. So in the center, we have the nucleus with two different subatomic particles. Now, one of those subatomic particles are the neutrons. So in my picture, those little gold spheres, those are the neutrons. Now, neutrons are abbreviated with the letter N, so just a lowercase letter n, and they have a mass of about 1 atomic mass unit, or AMU. Now, it's not just coincidence that they have a nice, easy unit of 1. This is actually by design. So technically, neutrons have a mass of 1.66 times 10 to the negative 27th kilograms. Now, if we're being honest, that number is a pain to work with. So scientists came up with an alternative unit better suited to discussing the mass of those subatomic particles. So instead of having a power of 10 to the negative 27th kilograms, we instead have the atomic mass unit. So that's why we end up with a nice number such as 1. The other important thing to remember about neutrons is that they are neutral, meaning they have no charge. So they're not positive or negative, they're just in the middle, they are neutral. We also have protons in the nucleus. So those are the little purple circles that have the plus signs representing their charge. So protons are often abbreviated by the lowercase letter p for proton. And they also have a mass about 1 AMU. Now, technically, it's a little bit less than the mass of a neutron, but it's close enough. And protons, as I mentioned before, have a positive charge. So that's pretty easy thinking. Protons, positive. Now, around the nucleus, we have the area known as the electron clouds. That's kind of the fuzzy teal area where we have those solid colored rings. So the electron cloud is the area outside of the nucleus, and it describes the location where electrons are likely to be found. Kind of a funny little fact here, we can't precisely know where electrons are, or we can't tell what their speed is. We can't have those two facts quantified or set down to specific numbers. Instead, we can just say they're somewhere in this vicinity. So electrons are found in the electron cloud, and they're going to have that minus charge on them. Now, they have a little bit different abbreviation as we have E with their charge. So it's E minus. Now, electrons have negligible mass, meaning it is so small it's practically zero, so we can get away with ignoring it. In fact, the mass of an electron is about 1,000 times smaller than the mass of a proton and a neutron. And electrons have a negative charge. Okay, so one word of advice is to be really careful when you are studying and make sure that you correctly memorize the charge of the neutron. So when we think about protons, we have a nice little alliteration. Protons are positive. So sometimes we can make the mistake of thinking neutrons negative, right? Not quite, because it's the electron that is negative. Instead, we need to remember that neutrons are neutral, okay? So if you're ever taking a quiz or a test and you're kind of questioning, you're not quite sure, always remember to think about which one has the most letters in common with the neutron. So neutral has 5 different letters that are the same as the neutrons. versus negative just has 2. So electrons are negative, protons are positive, neutrons are neutral. Okay, so here I have a little table talking about the location, charge, and mass of each of the subatomic particles. So I want you to go ahead, pause this video, fill it out if you need to, use your notes, but then we'll talk about it in a second. Okay, so let's go through this really quickly. So protons are found in the nucleus. They have a positive charge and they have a mass of about 1 AMU. Neutrons are also found in the nucleus, but they do not have a charge. They are neutral. They also have a mass of 1 AMU, just like the proton. The electron is not found in the nucleus. It is found outside of that area in the electron cloud. It has a negative charge, and then its mass is negligible, meaning about 0. So we can go ahead and ignore that mass. So just to recap, we talked about the 2 different regions of an atom, so the nucleus and the electron cloud. And then we also discussed the 3 subatomic particles that make up atoms. So protons, neutrons, electrons. So when you're studying these facts, remember to think about the location, their charge, and their mass. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, everyone. Bye.